Studies show that up to 30% of how we age comes down to what we eat. But have you ever wondered why some people seem to stay young, defying age, while the rest of us try every new health tip and still don't see results? It's easy to feel overwhelmed by countless videos on foods to avoid, each promising ageless skin, or a younger you. And with so many experts sharing different opinions, it's hard to know where to start, or how to stick with it. So, let's keep it simple. Start with Barbara Taylor Bradford, who's defied aging, avoids just 3 specific foods. But before we dive into those foods, let's take a moment to introduce Barbara.
I'm very healthy.
You are?
Touch wood.
Yes.
I don't take pills.
No.
I eat carefully. I don't drink much. I like a glass of champagne. I've got a lot of energy, and I've always had that. Physical energy and mental curiosity.
Barbara Taylor Bradford isn't a health guru. She's a literary icon who has won over millions worldwide with her storytelling. Born and raised in Yorkshire, England, Barbara's passion for storytelling was evident from a young age. She began her writing career as a journalist and quickly rose through the ranks, making her mark in a field dominated by men at that time. This experience in journalism gave her a strong foundation and helped her developing the unique voice that set her apart in the world of fiction. Her success took off with her first novel, A Woman of Substance, which became an international sensation and remains one of the top 10 best-selling novels ever. Since then, she's published over 30 novels and has earned countless fans and prestigious recognitions, including an OBE, Order of the British Empire, for her contributions to literature. But her influence doesn't stop with her career. Now in her 90s, Barbara is admired not only for her literary achievements, but also for her vibrant, ageless spirit. In her personal life, Barbara demonstrates the power of a well-rounded approach to self-care, something as important to her as any health routine. Rather than following every health trend, she embraces consistency and moderation, and she attributes her youthful energy to a balanced lifestyle that includes avoiding just 3 specific foods. Let's dive into these basics for now and see why they work. From there, you can gradually level up with insights from other experts, all of which you'll find here on my channel. So don't forget to subscribe for more. Barbara Taylor Bradford's first step in her anti-aging approach is limiting sweets, especially desserts. Excess sugar intake can significantly speed up aging by impacting the skin and body at a cellular level. Research shows that sugar causes advanced glycation end products, AGEs, to form, which damage proteins like collagen and elastin in the skin. For those who don't know, collagen and elastin keep skin firm and elastic. And when AGEs build up, they damage these proteins, making skin lose its bounce, causing wrinkles, sagging, and that dull-aged look. If you've ever seen a banana turn brown after peeling, that's similar to what sugar does to our cells over time, especially with fructose, which is commonly found in many desserts. And it's not just about looks. High sugar consumption is also linked with chronic inflammation, which in turn is a big player in age-related diseases like diabetes and heart disease. This chronic inflammation and oxidative stress are triggered by high sugar intake, which causes further internal damage, ultimately affecting our organs and overall vitality. The research in Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that people who eat a lot of added sugars are 38% more likely to develop heart disease than those who don't. And it doesn't stop there. High blood sugar levels can also increase the risk of Alzheimer's disease by almost 50%, according to the Alzheimer's Association. So by reducing sugar, we can prevent these effects, which is why Barbara's simple approach cutting back on sugar-laden desserts goes a long way in preserving youth and health. Barbara Taylor Bradford also watches her salt intake carefully, knowing how it can impact both her appearance and health. Excess salt not only leads to water retention and bloating, which can make the skin look puffier, but it also contributes to more serious health issues over time. According to studies, nearly 90% of Americans consume too much sodium, with the average intake around 3,400 milligrams per day, far above the recommended 2,300 milligrams. Cutting back on salt even a little can help with lower blood pressure, better blood vessel health, and reduce the risk of heart diseases, all of which plays an important part in maintaining a youthful appearance. Additionally, high salt levels can also mess with fluid balance and contribute to inflammation, which accelerates aging and increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes. For those looking to stay vibrant and energized, cutting back on sodium really pays. But what if you're worried your food might taste bland? Don't worry, for a more flavorful alternative, Barbara opts for herbs and spices, which allow her to keep sodium low without sacrificing taste. She recommends options like rosemary, which adds an earthy taste and can enhance meats and roasted vegetables, basil, which brings a subtle sweetness and works well in Italian-inspired dishes, cumin for its warm and nutty flavor, but for a more peppery, bold taste, thyme and sage are popular choices. They pair well with vegetables and meats, adding depth over longer cooking times. And don't forget coriander for a unique citrusy kick that complements soups, curries, and salads. These herbs and spices can be creatively combined to add flavors to dishes without too much salt and satisfy your cravings naturally. Barbara also keeps a close watch on her intake of starchy carbs, particularly potatoes. Now, while potatoes are rich in fiber and essential vitamins like vitamin C and potassium, they rank high on the glycemic index, GI. This means that eating them can lead to rapid blood sugar spikes, followed by a quick release of insulin. When this happens repeatedly over time, it can contribute to insulin resistance, which is linked to aging, weight gain, and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Studies actually show that diets high in high GI foods can lead to nearly double the risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to low GI diets, which highlights the importance of choosing low GI carbs for long-term health. Research has also looked at the impact of fried potato products, like French fries. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that regularly eating fried potato products is associated with a higher likelihood of weight gain and obesity, largely due to their high calorie density and added fats. In fact, one serving of French fries can contain more than 400 calories, with a significant portion coming from unhealthy fats, which not only promote weight gain, but also raise bad cholesterol levels. But interestingly, when it comes to satiety, boiled potatoes top the satiety index, meaning they can help you feel full longer compared to other foods, which is beneficial for weight management if you maintain your portion well. However, Barbara likes to get most of her carbs from whole grains, beans, and vegetables, which offers a more balanced release of energy and are lower in GI. For those of you who do enjoy potatoes, pairing them with lean proteins can moderate their effect on blood sugar by slowing digestion and avoiding spikes. Let's be honest, we all know staying young isn't just about avoiding certain foods. Barbara herself is a perfect example of this. She believes that keeping your mind engaged is just as important.
And it's the mind. I always say people who don't read newspapers and don't go out to movies, who are getting older, they just fade away. And when you retire, you die.
Barbara's convinced that people who don't read newspapers, who don't go out to movies, they just fade away. And even in her 90s, she's anything but fading. Barbara keeps herself sharp by writing a book or two each year, reading newspapers, and staying tuned into what's happening in the world. For her, this mental vibrancy is as big a part of her energy and youthfulness as anything she does for her body. So, while cutting back on certain foods is a great start, you should also keep in mind that true youthfulness is about staying curious, engaged, and fully alive. So, there you have it. 3 simple but powerful food habits Barbara Taylor Bradford follows to keep aging at bay. These small changes, like limiting sugar, salt, and refined carbs, show that staying young doesn't have to be overwhelming. Instead, it's about making smart, sustainable choices that fit into your lifestyle. If you're inspired to take it a step further, our next video covers even more ways to look ageless, featuring insights from Cher, who at 78 still looks decades younger. Curious to know what foods she avoids? Make sure to watch our next video. We'll break down her top tips so you can start with the basics and gradually move toward a complete age-defying routine. Hit subscribe so you won't miss out on all the secrets to staying vibrant and youthful, and don't forget to check the links.